universe they're in. These are three ladies from the Conjuring universe. Bonnie Aarons, Samara Lee, Eugenie Borderon from the Conjuring universe! Oh, I think there might be another special guest as well. Talk to Deej. Deej, is he a woman of the universe?
Yes.
All right, so if you guys have never been to a panel that I host, we have a live mic up here in the front of the stage. I normally do not like to have you guys wait until the end. I want you guys to get the information that you want right off the bat. We're going to be up here talking like friends from when we all film movies together, because we all film movies together, right? No, we didn't. That's not what we're doing. So we're going to just talk about things we want to talk about, but if you have things you want to know, come on up to the mic, don't be shy, and as soon as we get a chance to get to you, we will. So go ahead and start lining them down, and I will tell you, anybody that asks a question, come meet with me afterwards. I'm going to have something for you guys, okay? So, one of the interesting things about, and line up, it's all good, one of the interesting things about The Conjuring is that this is not like, say, Halloween or Friday the 13th, where you're talking about a continuous storyline where you're like, oh yeah, I was in part 5. Excuse me. So this is 4 parts away from part 1. Even though it's the Conjuring universe, you guys are very segmented in the pieces that you play. So how is it being on a panel where you're like, hey, maybe you've never even met this person before, but we're still in the same universe? Is it interesting meeting people that are in your universe that maybe never even interacted with? Why don't you start with you?
Well, absolutely. Well, I've met Samara many times, and of course I've met the real doll, right? You know, it's really Samara. And I just met Eugenie, so it's wonderful. And yeah, it's incredible. It's fun. It's like a whole big family.
So what about you guys? What's it like when you finally get to meet somebody in your universe for the first time, being on a panel with them, or being in the celebrity?
I mean, yeah, like Bonnie said, it's just amazing to have somebody that's in your universe and never been able to meet them. Like, I just met her as well, and she's amazing. I've known Bonnie for a couple years, and she's also just great, love her energy. So, yeah, I think it's so nice to have, like, a world where you're a part of it, but yet you're still constantly meeting new people, so I love that.
So ditto to what they just said. Also, when you're on the set working on a Conjuring film, the crew overlaps on other projects. So what happens is they'll say, oh my gosh, did you meet Samara? And I'm thinking, no, it's my first Conjuring film. Do you know Bonnie Aarons? No. And it's great. You get to know them before you actually get to meet them. So it's really a wonderful thing. And love being part of this universe. Love it, love it, love it.
Well, look at here. Look, we have a special guest that has joined us on the panel.
Yes.
How you doing over there? So,
Hey,
so this is not just characters. This is not just ladies. This is characters from the Conjuring universe. All right, so introduce yourself, good sir.
My name is Douglas Tate, and I played the werewolf in Annabelle Comes Home.
So, again, if you guys have any questions for any of the four of them up here on the stage, go on ahead and get into the mic and see. Thank you, on cue. I appreciate this. So, what is your name?
My name is Shelby.
And Shelby, who is your question for? What is your question?
All of you. Have you ever had any paranormal experiences while filming on set?
Ooh, that's a good one.
On my set, no, but our set was blessed by a bishop. So pre-filming, it was blessed by a bishop. And then when I went to go film the chunk, I was in Conjuring 3, by the way, if anybody doesn't know that. I played Isla. And my set was blessed by the same bishop. So I escaped that.
Was that Bonnie?
Yeah, I don't know if you know this, but every single set in the Conjuring universe is always blessed by. You didn't? Oh yeah, they come in. Yeah, and bless every single set. They have some, right? Yeah. You were there for yours, I think. But they had to go to the side. The guy came out and didn't want to be there.
And actually, for Annabelle Comes Home, this didn't happen to me. I wasn't filming that time, but my co-star, McKenna Gray, said that there was some paranormal activity going on while she was filming, so it definitely does happen, and it is real.
Annabelle, what do you think? Does she have an answer for that one?
Well, she knows that she's the one haunting, so she's not going to give away her secrets.
Douglas, what about you? Did you have any interesting stuff happen on the set when you were there?
No, nothing paranormal on my shoot days, but I have had it on other shoots. I shot at a place called Linda Vista Hospital in LA. That was an abandoned hospital and insane asylum, and we shot there, and there were some weird things that went on there that I couldn't explain. It's bone chilling. So, but not on Annabelle Comes Home, nothing.
All right, good stuff. Thank you again for the question. Up next, what's your name? Who's your question for? What's your question?
So my name is Kelsey, and my question is kind of for anybody. If you haven't already, if you had the chance to meet the real Annabelle the doll, would you? Why or why not?
I have not met the real Annabelle doll, and I've been invited to the place where the doll resides, to the house. And I think did they shift it? Did they go, now the nephew owns all of the artifacts somewhere else. They hold seances there. I've been invited to the seance, but I couldn't go when I was invited, so I'm going to go another year. But yeah, it's a Raggedy Ann doll. But I think this one's cute.
I can't say I met the real one either, unfortunately. I was invited, but as you know, I was very young filming these movies. I was 8 and 9, so I had the opportunity, and my 8-year-old son chose a Nintendo Switch instead. So that's what I got instead of that, and now I really regret that.
All right, good stuff. Thank you very much. All right, next up, what's your name? Who's your question for? What is your question?
Hi, my name is Leslie, and I have a question for Bonnie and Douglas. I was wondering how the special effects process was for you guys, with wearing contacts or with the heavy costume and stuff like that.
So the question was, how was the special effects and costuming and contacts? How was that for you for your movies?
Well, the costume is really comfortable to wear. It's like a I just had to get, when I first got into it, with the Conjuring 2, I had to figure out how to walk with all this material, and I figured it out. And then, the makeup was very easy to wear. Getting it off was a little bit more difficult. But I got to become an expert in taking it off. And the contacts were great because they did them to fit them to my eyes and everything. So they were very, very easy for me to wear.
What about you, Douglas?
Unlike Bonnie, mine was not a makeup, it was an animatronic head. I've worn a lot of makeup in my career. And the crazy thing about this werewolf character is it was originally shot as a puppet, a head puppet. So it was a puppet attacking the car, and James Wan saw it and said, I want a guy in a suit here. So they had to retrofit this puppet head to fit me in a short amount of time, because I did pickup shots on this shoot. That's we did pickup scenes that they were shooting, so it wasn't during the normal filming schedule. So they retrofitted this head to fit me and made a full werewolf suit, and that's how I was in the movie. So it was something you put on, and it's connected to cables, and then the eyes move, and the mouth moves with a remote control. So it's different than a makeup process.
All right, good stuff. Thank you. All right, next up.
Were you scared of yourself when you wear the makeup?
So Jason asked, were you scared of yourself when you wore the makeup?
Oh, no. I'm scared of myself right now because, I chipped my ear yesterday, and that scares me. But no, I love the makeup. I think it's stunning. I love it. Wait.
I have to say, oh yeah. Whenever I did have to do the makeup, it was about a 4 to 5 hour process every morning, and I wouldn't say I was scared of myself, but I couldn't look in the mirror that often because they were working on me. So when they turned the chair around and I saw it, I was like, that's me? I didn't recognize myself. So it's definitely an experience.
mine did not take 4 or 5 hours. My makeup towards the end, as my demonic character, as if my character wasn't demonic enough. But it was very interesting and ghost-like. However, what did scare me was the surprise when I actually saw the film at the end. And I don't want to give a spoiler if you've not seen Conjuring 3, but that very end part of my character, the production director threw in a surprise that I was not aware, of which I was not aware. And I'm watching the film, and all of a sudden I go, ah! You know, I scared myself. So, you know, it happens.
What about you, Douglas? You ever have any situations where you see yourself in makeup and you're like, man, I look good?
I've been in so many makeups in my career that it's one of those things where it doesn't faze me anymore. But there's something about contacts, because I play this Sasquatch character in Jack Link's commercials, and the makeup's amazing, but you see human eyes, and as soon as those contacts go in, it completely makes it something different and scary, like an animal. Yeah.
All right, so we had another question up here in the front. My man, what is your name? What is your question?
Mike, it's for Bonnie. How realistic is the nun character to the actual reported ghost that was seen? How realistic is your nun character?
Extremely.
Yeah.
Well, the character was a different demon for the Conjuring 2, and they just didn't like it. It was someone it was actually proposed with, like best friends with James Wan, an anatomical suit. They didn't like it, so they said, it's got to be a real person. And James said he thought about it. Lorraine Warren always told him that it was a hooded demon that was always following her around. And so he thought of, oh wow, it's a nun. And he was right on, because I mean, at the premiere of The Nun, The Conjuring 2, Lorraine Warren was there. She couldn't come here. I mean, I couldn't even sit anywhere. She just flipped out. So, or no, she couldn't take it.
Wow.
Because, you know, so it was spot on. The guy's a genius.
James Wan is brilliant, and your look, you have such a great character look, Bonnie, and just that nun, I mean, it's just perfection. And it's so simple.
I know. He's a genius. Thank you so much. I'm honored.
All right, next up, what's your name? What is your question?
Hi, I'm Shayla. It's for Douglas. I was wondering if, who's your favorite werewolf? Like, what you were kind of building off of to be as scary as you were.
You know, I didn't. I love werewolf movies. You know, like going back to old Universal, Wolfman and things like that. So I've always been a fan of monsters and things. I didn't really do any research playing this character on, I'm going to be like this werewolf. It was more of a thing for me. It's such a physical thing when you put on an animatronic head and the suit, and you kind of go based off how it moves and how it looks. And then you work with the guys that are doing the remote control, and you see how that face moves in a mirror. And then I kind of based my performance around that. And then what James Wan was giving me some really great notes. And the director, he's not even director, what's the director?
How heavy was that costume?
It was pretty heavy. The head weighed like 70 pounds because it had animatronics in it. So, and I had to get down to like a low squat. So, and then also the eyes were here, so I had to look down for the eyes to be straight, because when I looked normal through the mouth, my eyes would be up in the air. So it was difficult to keep that position. You know? Then I had to jump off the car. And all
I hope they had a chiropractor on set for you. Oh, back.
Wait, how heavy was that hairy suit?
The suit wasn't heavy. The suit was actually like the most comfortable thing. But when you're in the head with the suit, it's hot as heck in Atlanta.
One more.
Sure, you can do it. What's the question?
Do any of you have dolls at home, and have you ever kind of looked at them?
side eye to the doll because you're like, hey, is that doll like trying to be like Annabelle?
We have a doll-free zone in my house.
Which is called the entire house, right?
It's the entire house.
You're okay. I used to have like a whole doll room. After filming, I collected all of the American Girl dolls, every single one. I know. And from like the rarest ones you could find, I had all of them and they just sat in there. And as I got older, I was like, having like 65 dolls in one room is a little bit scarier than I thought it was gonna be. Like I kind of didn't think about it until I walked in there one day and I'm just like, ugh, that's kind of gross.
All right, looks like we have another question up here. So what are both of your names and what's the question?
This is Quinn, and this is my daughter, Beowulf.
What's going on? How you doing?
I was just wondering what kind of research you guys did, specifically Bonnie, on like the Catholic religion. Did you get to talk to Lorraine much, or did you have to do like case file research for any of your parts? I'm just kind of curious about it.
I never spoke to Lorraine Warren. She couldn't even be in the same vicinity as, I am.
Even in like the pre-settle, even in like when you were learning the character, she still could.
Well, there was no, I just did the character.
Oh.
I just did it. And I just did a performance with instructions from the director or whatever. Okay, can you do something like this, do something like that? I knew the scene and I just did it. It's a demon, from hell, another dimension. So it's kind of, just really knows thing that you're gonna just do it.
Yeah, hopefully you're not gonna go try and talk to one to do some
Yeah,
learning on that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the house and do the seance and communicate with the demon.
All right, thank you guys. All right,
Thank you so much.
So I have a question for you two. So is that your mom that's back there with you, Simone? That was it your mom that's back there at the table with you?
Yes.
Okay, so she was telling me a story yesterday about how you guys obviously aren't in the same movies, but you two had a pretty special connection right off the bat. She said that you had the video that you filmed when you were really young and it had like 6 million hits and people were crowding you, and I'm gonna let you guys tell the story, but Bonnie kind of, there was a connection between you guys with this, so I'll let you guys tell them the story. So Bonnie, do you want to tell it or do you
Yeah,
want to
we
tell it?
were coming out. It was Annabelle.
Yeah, I think it was the
Yeah,
Annabelle creation.
If you're how old?
I was like 8 probably.
Just carrying around the doll, and we're out in a huge crowd. It was, you couldn't even see. And I'm walking all the block from the theater to the park. It was like, 3 blocks. And there I'm going to the thing, and there's all these people surrounding her, this doll, taking pictures. And I started screaming at them, what are you doing? It's just a little girl. I grabbed her and took her away from me.
Yeah, Samara's mom was like, she swooped her up off the ground and said, you're coming with me!
It was very weird. I did not approve. It was just, I saw this child surrounded by all these strangers who were taking pictures with her. It did not look appropriate.
And she said you guys have had pretty much a relationship since then.
Oh, yeah.
So what do you think, how interesting is it having the nun, having Valak as your, someone who has been a guide for you in your career so far?
I think, first of all, she's an amazing role model. Like, that moment that she did that, I immediately was like, this is going to be my idol, like my horror icon. But it's really nice because it shows you that, like, the character really is so much different from the person. Like, a lot of times I see actors and actresses getting judged for the roles because you hate that character so much, right? And you realize that, like, that is just a person. Just like we are all just people. And, I think that's good to remember. So I think having that relationship with her really shows that.
What if anybody who saw a child being surrounded
costume because that would have taken on an entirely different. That would have taken on an entirely different connotation right there. All right, we have someone else up here with a question. What's your name? Who is your question for? What is the question?
I'm Jennifer, and I was just, I love all of the movies, and I actually have a lot.
Jennifer, get a little bit closer to the mic for us.
I just said I'm Jennifer, and I have an animal at home, and I was just wondering, what is y'all's favorite part of the movie?
What is the doll's favorite part of the movie?
Well, no, what is y'all's?
Oh, what was y'all's? Okay.
I'm from Texas.
That's all right. So what was your favorite part in any of your movies to film in the Conjuring universe? Eugenie, looks like you want to go first.
I have so many.
Oh, so not to give away any of the plot points, but at the end, I became a contortion artist, so to speak, and working with our director, Michael Shaws, we worked over Zoom to plan this out, plan out that contortion, and we worked on what I could physically do and not do, and being able to take that time, which this is a busy director. It was in the middle of COVID that we were working together on Zoom, and then we'd set up these times, and I'd plot out something within like a week or 2 weeks, and I'd send him videotapes, and then we'd do a Zoom session, and he'd say, yeah, I like that, I didn't like that. Can we do this? Can we do that? Yeah, let's try it, you know? And that to me is my baby. You know, that is something that we both worked on, we created, and the producers in studio loved it. So, thank you for asking.
All right, good stuff. Thank you very much. All right, looks like another person's got a question. Come on up. We're at the Crystal Lake Tour shirt. What's your name? Who's your question for? What's your question?
My question for Bonnie. My name's Seisha, and it's on The Nun 2, which I know it's coming out. And you filmed that in France in an abandoned nunnery, did I hear? And I just wanted to know how that experience was, or is that something you could share?
It was pretty fantastic. I mean, France, the south of France, I mean, you can't beat that. The food was incredible. Oh my God. It was really great. It was fun.
I'm a big fan of the concept.
Oh, you're gonna love The Nun too.
Okay.
This is something you're not expecting. And it answers a lot of questions, and it brings a lot of, you know, things, and there's new characters, new things going on, so it's really, really enjoyable. I mean, it's phenomenal.
Great. So is it still set for this fall, right?
Right, yes, September 8th.
Excellent. Thank you.
Now you'll love it. It's exciting.
All right, so Eugenie, I've got a question for you. So you've worked as an acting coach for a better part of 2 decades?
I do, yeah, I have.
So if you could pick only one thing to do, either you could be an actress in front of the camera, or you could see your students themselves be in front of the camera, which one of those would you choose if you could only choose one, and why?
You know, okay, that's a tough question to answer because honestly, I've seen some of my students here at Spookala, and so I can't really say no. I'd be in front of the camera because I love working with my actors. I love it. I love it when I see them doing their work and taking direction, and then the results that they produce. It's just, I don't know. It's endorphins. Just really, I get a rush. But also being on a film set gives me an incredible high. I mean,
I knew that was going to be an impossible question for you to answer, but I wanted to see how you do it.
I hope I answered that question. I probably didn't.
Of course you did. Of course you did. So who are some of your students that are here if you're able to name them?
I don't know. Are you in the audience? Am I seeing anyone? Are you going to raise your hand? No, they're not.
There's a couple in the
Right up
back.
there.
So go ahead and stand up if you're one of her students, if you're one of Eugenie's students.
And she's doing very well. Let me just add.
Sure, add whatever you want.
Really well. And I'm very proud of you. Just a little note, footnote here.
All right, so I've got one for Samara. So, in the same row, back in the back where you guys are at, you've got Amy Donald, who played Megan. who is another haunted doll. If Megan and Annabelle were in a wrestling ring, who is going to be the one that's going to win and why?
All right, guys. You may have differing opinions, but I think Annabelle, hands down, would win that fight. Come on. I may be biased, but...
Well, just know I'm going to ask Amy Donald the exact same question tomorrow.
That's
and then
okay.
If you guys don't agree, we're going to have to go settle it in the back row and figure out.
I think, well, I love Megan. It's just so brilliant. I love Megan. But Annabelle is a possessed demon. So how can you kill it? Whereas Megan is connected to the internet. You know, maybe, I don't know, maybe Megan is also possessed by it. It was hard to turn that bitch off.
Bobby's spitting some logic at us up here. In the back row. All right, good sir, what is your name? What is your question?
Joey, and I was talking with Bonnie earlier just about costumes and how the effects work. And I remember I asked about your eyes and remember the contacts, and I said, well, someone said they found your contacts and stuff, and you said, no. But tell us about the contacts, like how specific, how they made them for you.
They were extremely specific. I went to an eye doctor, they did eye measurements. They were the only person in the world that could wear them is me.
They were actually prescription eyeglasses.
They were prescription contact lenses, and then they painted them. Yeah.
It's just amazing.
So there's no way that they were shoved. I mean, there was always somebody there when they were, or somebody took them out, and they were very, controlled and watched. There was no way they wound up in anybody's costume. No way. No.
Awesome.
All right, thanks a lot, man. All right, got another one. What is your name? Oh, look, did you injure yourself here? Did you guys run into each other? Is this actually chipped your tooth because you busted your foot? I hope we can make a big story about this. Jumped off the stage and flying
I
kick.
did this over on the electrolyte drink. Nothing, just little thing was making
All right, so did you injure yourself opening an electrolyte drink as well?
No.
All right, what's your name? What's your question?
Hi, I'm Melanie. My question, I don't know, I came a little late, sorry, so I don't know if this was already asked, but during any of the filmings, did anything creepy ever happen?
Well, in the nun one, we were, in the cathedral, there was the middle of it. There was a video village there, which was a special effects thing behind the thing, because they were also working on it. And I'm out there, and all of a sudden this murmuration of bats come flying at me, okay? And then all of a sudden, they go like this, but one bat heads right for me. And I move, and the bat goes into the tent. Now, all of a sudden, everybody jumps up and starts running over to the bat to see if the bat's okay. Nothing about me. Honestly, the bats thought I was Dracula. In Transylvania, in Romania. So we're all convinced the bats really thought I was the Dracula. And they were coming at me. But yeah, we all get up, and they're worried about the bat. They saved the bat, they picked the bat up, I think they brought the thing to the hospital.
Good story. Anyone else? No? Okay, well, thank you.
I can say, even though nothing really happened to me personally on the set, because I had someone ask me this at this con yesterday, the set that you see, what you're seeing whenever you're watching the film, at least for Annabelle Creation, it looks pretty much the exact same. I mean, the room looks really, really creepy. The closet that has all the Bible pages on it. I mean, you're not seeing anything really that much different besides CGI that is, it's real. So even though it's not, actually haunted, at least I don't think so, then it's still really creepy.
Thank you for your time.
May I add to that? I really appreciate you saying that because that is something that did stand out for me. Thank you. Thank you. It is so true. The people who create created and designed these sets are artists, and they put a lot of work into their craft, and they are always in demand, and they are specialists, and you cannot tell the difference. I mean, it's shocking to see the amount of detail that goes into the sets, and like the houses, the haunted houses, scratch marks, like she was saying, the scratch marks, you walk around and go, I mean, it's a little scary. You scare yourself. Right, guys. It's incredible to see.
Yeah, like when you see the sets, like you think it's a house and you're going inside the house. It's not. The house is just the exterior that you're seeing. It's a real house. But once you get inside that, that's all on a stage. And every room is built and designed and painted.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so we talked at length about how in The Conjuring, these movies are basically in their own channels. It's not like Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street where it's kind of a continuous with the same character. Whoever wants to answer this, if you could find a way, your own self, to merge some of the Conjuring movies into their own, like, you know, such and such beach, such and such, how would you do that? How would you find a way to, in your mind, have the nun need Eugenie's character? Or would you get it?
It's funny, so many fans say they thought that the occultist was, came out of me and they were waiting for the occultist to morph into Valley, which makes sense. So I think that, the fans kind of write it themselves. But, it's really brilliant, When you see it, it does, everyone told me that they're waiting. Why is she's turning it's turning it's valid. It's going to valid. And in all the movies I'm across from Annabelle, the painting in the Warrens, collection, I'm across from Annabelle, so I always feel like it's, they've already made that Annabelle's possessed by Valak, and so yeah, I think they're all connected within the story because they're all in the artifacts. And they're doing a Conjuring series now on HBO. Because there's so many hundreds of Warren stories, and they're doing all that. And I think they'll probably pull it, more together. I don't know what they're going to do, but it's going to be phenomenal, I'm sure.
Well, hopefully we'll see every single one of you guys show up in there in some way, somehow, maybe in the same episode. Sarah's over here, she's wagging her eyebrows like she knows something that we don't know. Don't violate that NDA.
Well, I'll just say, I don't know much more than you guys know, but I do know a little bit more.
All right, so last question from the audience. What is your name? What is your question?
Hi, I'm Meredith. You mentioned this a little bit, but for the movies that James Wan is not the director of, how involved as a producer is he in the day-to-day filming and production?
Very. He was Night of the Nun 1. He was doing Aquaman, the first Aquaman, and every single day on the thing he was reviewing. He was literally there watching, with the makeup. They would send him pictures constantly. No, want this adjusted, no, want that vein adjusted, want this, want that done. Every little detail. And then I remember he was saying that then the producers were telling me, when we saw the daily of the water scene, they were all standing up and, yay, she's doing it herself, because I got in and doing it. He said nobody knew I was going to do it except for Corin Hardy, the director, not. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm going to do this because I want it to look phenomenal. So I got in the water, held my breath under, and brought myself back up. So he's involved every step of the way. These are his children. He did all this. He's really involved.
All right, well, I guess I lied. Because I said there was only going to be one more question from the audience. I think Jason Voorhees Jr. has showed up. So if somebody can help him get the mic so that he can ask the question. Jason, what is your actual human name and what is the question?
My name's Bruce.
What's up, Bruce? That's a good horror movie name.
My question is, why are y'all so scary?
Why y'all so scary? You really think they're scary? They're all nice, kind people up here. But Douglas Tate, why are you so scary?
I'm so scary because I've worn that mask before and killed people that you're wearing.
Am I scary now? Am I scary now?
Oh, goodness.
I mean, I do get told that I look scary to come talk to. That's what some of my best friends have told me. They say, when I first saw you, I thought you were going to be so just like mean and scary. I think it's maybe I have RBF. I don't know. But then people realize that I'm really not that scary. I think.
Hey, so just so you know, Bruce, RBF, she means resting money face. Okay, so don't ask anybody else what that means. That's what it means for you.
Well, I'm so scary because the role calls for it, and I love my job. I love performing. So if it has to be funny, I'll be funny. If it has to be scary, I'll scare you.
Bruce, that was actually a good question. Good stuff. Thank you for coming up there and doing that. All right, so we've reached the end of the line of this panel. Douglas Tate actually has his own panel. Just going to be him and I up here tomorrow. Yeah, it's just going to be him. We're going to be talking about things like Sasquatch and all those other crazy things that he's done.
Yeah.
If you guys have any questions that you wanted to ask one of them, that you didn't get asked now, or you feel more comfortable doing it back at their booth, they're all going to be hightailing it back there. They'd love to see you back there. Again, if you're somebody to ask a question up there on the panel, and I'm like right over here, go over to my booth. I've got something to give you guys, because I know sometimes it's hard to get up and have all eyes on you and appreciate the fact you guys come up here and do that. So come on over there to booth 21. I've got something to give each and every one of you guys. Anybody else have anything they want to say before we get off of this panel? Are you good?
We're good.
All right.
Say one thing. Yes, please stop by our table. Say hello, all of us. We'd love to talk more to you.
All right, so we have Douglas Tate, Jeannie Ford, Samara Lee, and Bonnie Harris from the Conjuring.